Donatella Fitzgerald, and I'm from London. And today I'm in Rome, in Italy. So, hello, Rommel. Hi from Spain. Hello, Harry. We've got Harry from the live classes and renewable energy. Lovely. We've got a few of the Pearson live classes here today. So, hello to you all. Vanessa, hi. Russia, hello. Hong Kong, Poland, Italy, lovely. Serbia, hello from India. Oh my goodness. We've got teachers from all over Ecuador, Czech Republic. Hello, Rothio. Lovely to see you again. And from France, wow, Poland, Turkmenistan, Gdansk, Latvia. Hello from Italy, Sylvia. Ukraine, Peru. That is amazing. We've got people from all over the world again. Hong Kong, Odessa. Look at these countries. Oh, this is just so amazing. It is just lovely to see you all. Romania. Wow. Austria. That's lovely. I bet it's lovely there today. And greetings from Thailand. Hello from Odessa. Yeah, hello, Warren from Thailand. Italy, hi, Laura. Poland. Wow, look at that. Kiev. We've got teachers from all over. This is absolutely amazing. Hello from Hom. Wow. Poland. Yeah, no, that's absolutely fantastic. So thank you all for joining us today. It's just lovely to see you all. Today we're going to be looking at enhancing students' well-being through stories and reading. And we're going to be looking at why stories are important and how we can encourage our students to read. So Myanmar, hello, Rommel, hello, Vanessa. Hi, Harry from Renewable Energy. Lovely. Hi. Hello from Istanbul and Estonia. So before we begin, can you just write in the chat what have been the effects of the pandemic on your students? So if you just write in the chat. Hello from the Philippines. So what are the effects? What have you noticed? Stay at home a lot, yes, Vienna. Demotivation, lack of concentration, sad and tired, passive, yeah, do not see. Some have disappeared. A lot of people have said that. This is so amazing because we've got teachers all over the world here and you're all saying the same thing. So not as attentive, struggling with the technology, Jennifer. Yeah, we found that a lot. Gosh, so lots and lots of things there. Frustration as well, yeah. After a year of being at home, they want to go back to school. Yeah, eye strain. I know, it's interesting. Rothiola, yeah, they've lost. Are they getting the lethargic? Now, a lot of people say that as well. So they're going to be like turtles. Yeah, that's really interesting. So what we're going to be looking at today is how reading for pleasure can result in increased empathy, improved relationships with others, and reductions in the symptoms of depression and dementia, and improved well-being. And if you'd like to read that article, you'll get afterwards you'll get the links. And basically, it is so important that reading can help us with all of these things that you've been mentioning as well. And Nujen, about saying that they can't go to school as well. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. She put the link in the chat. So that's great. So reading can help you relax and combat techno stress. So we've heard a lot about techno stress over the last few days. And in fact, reading is found to decrease blood pressure, lower heart rate, and reduce stress to significant degrees. And according to a 2009 study at the University of Sussex, stress can actually be reduced up to 68% just by reading. And in fact, in that study, it says only 6 minutes of reading can just start to slow down your heartbeat and improve overall health. And it does calm the mind and relaxes the body. So we need to share this with our students and help them begin to enjoy reading. Okay. So one of the effects that we've also noticed on the pandemic, and a lot of you have mentioned this, the interruption of going to school and the subsequent consequences of that is learning loss. There are some articles by UNESCO here and McKinsey on the phenomenon of learning loss and how gaps in education have provided some students, especially those with limited access to technology and the internet, to have a sort of gap in their knowledge. So again, these are all things, and the good news is that these are things that reading can actually help with. It can help with learning loss. And Stephen Krashen, in his book, The Power of Reading, he tells us that those who read have larger vocabularies, do better on tests and grammar, write better, and spell better. So the research shows that reading's good for your health, and it's also good for your language and good for your general education. So you can't, it's a win-win. Yeah, so that's great. So escape in a book. Reading can help our students escape into new worlds. It can help them switch off for their day and cope with stress and worry. And also, if we can choose sort of books with humour, a laugh out loud book, it's a great way to feel happy and actually improve our students' mood. So that's another reason why it's good to get our students to read. So regular nightly bedtime routine is associated with improved sleep. So it helps the brain unwind and switch off for the day. Reading to our children 10 minutes a day or a night can actually encourage them to read independently and improve parent-child relationship. And you can just Google the Book Trust and find that. So don't worry about the links. You can just Google them and find them. So thanks to Vanessa Hartson and Walker for sharing this with me. It's a fantastic article from the New York Times about storytelling and mindfulness. Now, we've heard a lot about mindfulness over the past few days, especially from Amy Malloy, and you can look at the Pearson Experiences web page to find out more about how it can help you and your students. But reading can actually be a crucial opportunity for mindfulness, the ability to be in the present moment, aware while withholding judgment, both inside and outside. So reading can actually be really important for that and helping us to focus. Now, Rachel Watson, who's the editor of all the wonderful Pearson readers, she recommends as well that we empower our students with choice. So getting your students to choose what to read. A lot of teachers say, how can I get my reluctant readers to read? Well, get them to choose. Show them the wonderful Pearson website of the readers, show them all the range and get them to choose. It makes sure that they choose things slightly easier than their level, so they're not translating. Choose something that they can read without using a dictionary, and they can read the blurb, look at the cover, and find out what genre your students like reading, and encourage them to, show them some of the stories they might like to read around that. So again, giving them the choice. Okay. Choosing which story to read. Hello from Pakistan. Hi. So choosing which story to read, students will probably finish the story. So satisfaction of getting to the end of the book and finishing the story. So try new genre and a way to bring back the habit of daily reading. Motivating, different types of story, detective stories, love stories, horror stories. So short stories are also a good way to start if your students don't read a lot. So, and Pearson English readers have lots of different types of short stories. We've got the Canterbury Tales here. People have been reading stories and telling stories for many years. Hello, lovely to see you, Chloe, one of the live classes trainers from Toulouse. So nice to see you as well. Isabella from Rome. Folk tales, okay, stories as well from different countries. Now, can you just write in the chat some of the folk tales from your country? So are there any famous folk stories from the country that you're from? Because folk stories are also a really good way to start. And this is if you've got older teens or higher level students. World Folk Tales is a really good one to start with them with this reader. They usually have optimistic endings. Good. Aesop's Fables, Vanessa. Yeah. Cinderella, Red Riding Hood. Absolutely. Robin Hood. Tree Eggs. That's good. And very often folk tales have well-being themes. The Three Little Pigs, Goldilocks. Yeah. The Pineapple's Got Its Eyes. The Little Mermaid. Yeah. So all of these sort of tales and fairy tales are good. Now, another important thing is to involve parents. And this is from a teacher in Italy who organised a reading project in her school. And she told her parents, she got them together, had a meeting with them online, because it was obviously online, and said, you know, just inform them that you're going to get your students to read stories, tell them why it's good for them, why reading is good for them, and how they could perhaps encourage them to read at home as well. So involving parents is really important. And this was a nice example. Yeah, we've got lovely book reviews as well there. Now, e-libraries as well. So keeping that class community going, especially during the pandemic. E-libraries are absolutely fantastic for that, because students can read the same book at the same time. So if you get, Pearson has got some fantastic e-libraries. You can find them on the Pearson website, and you can find out details of them. There are all of the different levels. There are e-libraries for the Pearson English readers and the Pearson active readers, and you can have a look and see which level would be good for your students. And that's a really, really good way of keeping the class community together. We've looked over the past few days as well a lot about hybrid teaching as well, online teaching and face-to-face, and how the pandemic has changed things. And for example, I know many of you joining us today are in a lockdown situation. Just an example of what you can do is, if you're in a lockdown situation or a hybrid situation, some of you have got students in class, some at home, get them to read aloud together. So they have their book and they all read aloud together. We do a shared reading together, and you can use a video conference platform like Google Meet or Zoom, and that sort of shared reading. And they can also then talk about the book. If you've got older students, that sort of social aspect of talking about the book, a book club, these are fantastic ways of getting students to talk together and join together. And the example here from a school in Milan, the students are reading together. They're reading The Town Mouse and the Country Mouse, and one of the children is actually in Egypt because she had to go back to Egypt with her mother. So she was joining her students, her fellow classmates who were all in Milan in Italy, and they were reading The Town Mouse together. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And also, I know we've got a lot of the live classes trainers here from the BBC and Pearson, and that is also another opportunity to get your students to socialise with students as well from other countries. And we know that there are absolutely opportunities in May to join. Yeah, and in fact, as Chloe said, it's really nice to keep the class together. So that class community. Now, all of these ideas, you don't need to think them up yourself. Each Pearson reader has some wonderful worksheets with lots of ideas and games for using the activities. And you're going to get some in your goodie bag today. You're also going to get the audio story of Pirate Patch, which we're going to look at later, and one of the lovely Sherlock Holmes stories for older students, the important exam paper. So before reading stories, how can we involve our students? Well, the first thing that we can do is we can set the scene for a mindful story time with our children, for example. So we're gonna it's a story about a princess today. So I've got my story hat, which can create a happy atmosphere, and we're going to get our students to sit up straight like a king or a queen. As Amy Malloy taught us with mindfulness, we're going to notice, are we sitting comfortably? And we're going to draw a bubble around ourselves so we're not sort of touching other children and we're not getting in the way. So we're going to do that as well. And then we're going to make sure that our students pay attention. So we're going to ask them to pat their ears. So all of you teachers at home in Hong Kong and in the Philippines and in Poland and in Austria, and Ukraine, can you all just find your ears and pat your ears and check your ears are ready to listen to this story? And yeah, and a story hat can also help. And our story today, it's the wonderful Frozen from the Pearson Disney Readers. So Pearson has just launched the new edition of the Pearson Disney Readers. There are 36 of them, and they are so wonderful. So again, before we start the story, we can talk about the cover. This is the story of Olaf Likes Summer. So we've got our snowman and we've got the two princesses there. So there we go. Freddie, yes, fantastic idea. We can also look at well-being in stories. So a book can provide a structure to your discussion, and students can relate to the characters they see in the story. This can also help them make sense of their emotions and feel less alone. And in fact, there's a lot of articles, again, on the Book Trust website. Just Google Book Trust and you'll find that. So look at this reader here. This is a wonderful reader from the Pearson Active Reader series. It's a level 2. Around the World in 80 Days. What are the topics? Can you write down what you think the topics are? And I'm going to keep my princess crown on because there's a princess in this book as well. So what topics have we got? Traveling. Yes, Natalia. Jittery, travel. Yeah, a lot of you saying travel. Adventure, Hasya. Yeah, adventure. Yeah, different cultures, friendship, Cinzia, yes, Cinzia, bravery, yeah, absolutely, yeah, so romance, yes, Dorothy, yeah, treasure hunt, love, Chloe, yeah, absolutely. So, and in fact, these are the topics. So we've got transport, we've got travel, we've got countries, love and friendship, we've got the Princess Aouda, we've got Phileas Fogg, Passepartout, and humour. And obviously, all in those worksheets I showed you, you've always got the themes and a little bit about the themes. So it really helps you think of themes as well. And mystery, yeah, so you can, British Empire, absolutely new experiences. So lots of different things, history as well. And you can do this lovely activity. Hello to Antonia Marcatelli from Basilicata in Italy. She organised to whet the students' appetite and get them into reading, you know, especially if they're students that don't usually read. She got her students to have an afternoon tea. So as a pre-reading activity, do something outside the book, like have an afternoon tea. It's something very British. And because the story starts off in London, you know, so an afternoon tea with tea bags and Phileas Fogg. And each of her student folded a piece of paper and made a tea bag. And they drew or they cut out one of the places in the book or a place that they wanted to see. So they started to do that activity. Chloe, tea and travel, absolutely, yeah. So this was a really, really nice activity that they did, and they had an afternoon tea before they've started reading the book. So another theme that you could link to this reader and any readers that have got a travel theme is introduce the idea of traveling and well-being, especially now, what you need to do when you're planning a trip. And you can do this at different levels with younger students and with older students. What can you do to stay safe on a journey? What can you take with you to help you? And if you want some advice on that and just some ideas, the NHS has got a really nice website. So you don't worry about the link, just Google NHS Fit for Travel and you can find that as well. Okay. Yeah, I know you look like a queen. Yeah, no. So, and we can also help our students travel virtually with the internet now. The world is our. We can find all the places. So, for example, the lovely story of the Emperor and the Nightingale, and we've got a lot of people here from Asian countries. So this is home for you, for many of you. But we've got the Kew Gardens in London. You can look at the lovely Oriental Gardens there, and those giant water lilies that are beautiful. You could also, for example, look at Oriental Gardens around the world. This is the Darling Harbour Garden in Sydney, and then find other gardens. So that's a nice idea. So we can also move on to our next story. Now you're going to get the audio for this. So this is Pirate Patch. It's a lovely story for younger learners, and just to help you with that story, I'm gonna I'll just change my, I've got my Pirate Patch hat on here, and this is so here we are. Okay, and we're going to look at Pirate Patch now. Now, Captain Blackbird in Pirate Patch, he's a bit naughty and he doesn't feed his pirates very well. So you could get your children to design a healthy eating plate. You give your students a plate. Again, this could be an activity before they read or after they read. You talk about healthy food and they stick or draw the pictures. A pirate come back. Yeah, absolutely. And they present their plate to the class. And if your students like pirates, I know a lot of them do, you can do projects on pirates as well. And Pearson also has the wonderful Pirates of the Caribbean readers for older students. You can watch the films and read the books. So again, you know, do something on pirates as well, and then they present their plate to the class. Now you're going to get the audio of Pirate Patch, so you could do that with your children. So another topic of we can link to reading and well-being are sort of emotions before an exam. Many of our students are doing exams, especially at this time of year, the end of school, you know, exams or end of year exams. So you're going to get the reader. You're going to actually get a copy of the reader in your goodie bag with the audio, and this you're going to get the Sherlock Holmes and the Important Exam paper. So it's a mystery about an exam paper that was stolen. So you can also talk to your students about exams. How do they feel before an important exam? What subjects do they study? And what is your favourite subject? So hi Loretta, yeah, so you can link that. So while we're reading stories, okay, so what can we do while we're reading the stories? Well, this is from a teacher in Rome, Tamara Novicic, hello, and she did some wonderful things. She got the students to make podcasts. So basically, they read The Selfish Giant, and you've got themes there for selfishness and sharing, and you can talk about those themes, and the students made a podcast. They made audio recordings, and then they shared them on their school radio station. And that was nice because they shared them with other students as well. And coming back to our favourite reader of the day, which is Pirate Patch, you can also make predictions about how the characters are feeling. So look at this picture. How are they feeling? Where are the pirates? So can you just say, where are the pirates? Are they happy? Do they look happy? Are they scared? And why are they scared? Why are they scared? What can you see in the water? It's shark infested. Absolutely, Chloe. Thank you. Yeah, no. So all of those sharks. So we can talk about that as well. And we can play a lovely game as well. We can play The Captain is Coming. So I'd like you all to stand up, please. So if you can all stand up at home, and if you can all just stand up, good, like this. So so we're on a pirate ship, and there are commands that you usually hear on ships. So if I say port, you have to step to the left. And if I say starboard, you have to step to the right. Are you all standing up? I can see you there in the Philippines. Yep, good. Okay. And the captain is coming. So you stand up and you salute. And if I say climb the rigging, climb the ladder, climb the rigging, you pretend to climb. If I say I want treasure, we look through the telescope. And if I say sharks, we just swim madly. Okay, so let's try together. Are you ready? I can see, yeah, in Ecuador. Okay, good. So sharks. Okay, good. And I want treasure. Okay, yeah. And climb the rigging. Sharks. Okay, port. Captain's coming. Good. And you can play that with your children, and that's a great game. You can do it online, you can do it face to face, and then you can ask one of the children to become the main person. So sea-based games, Harry Waters, he wasn't a pirate. Okay, that's lovely. Yeah, no, love that, sea-based games. So we can also do things as well, like while we read and listen activities. So here in the readers all have the activities. This is from the wonderful Jungle Book, the new Disney, and you've got pictures of the characters, and they can use that. People are asking about ideas to begin with kindergarten children besides poetry and singing too. Absolutely. And some of the level 1 readers are fantastic for kindergarten. You can read them to the students. You know, you can start to actually read stories with them. So wonderful. There's the story of Dumbo, which is a lovely one, the elephant with the big ears, and they love that in kindergarten. So this is a wonderful reader. It's really, really popular. Inside Out. Your students, you can also find the film and watch the film with your students. It's a story of emotions as well. So again, while you're reading, the students can listen and read because they've all got the audio, and then you can cut out and play activities as well. So we can also associate reading with phonics. English is not syllabic like many languages, so phonics can help students with the sounds. So for example, we've got Peter Pan for p for Peter, p for pan, p for Ben, and we can contrast it with the b for bed and the b for big, Ben. Okay, so again, you know, these are all activities to do while we're reading. We can do some phonics as well, and some tongue twisters. Now, tongue twisters are rhymes that you have to twist your tongue to say them. So let's read this together. The jungle is hot, the river is not. A panther is a cat, it doesn't have a hat. It runs and jumps, and it does not stop. So there you go. So you've got, you can do those rhymes with those Disney readers there. So after reading stories, again, activities that we can use that are going to get our students excited. Now I'm going to go to Australia now. So I've got my Australia wallaby hat, and thanks Vanessa for reminding me I had this one, I'd forgotten. And so basically this story is a lovely story if you've got younger children, and remember, adults can read these. If you've got adults learning English or older children, they can read these stories to their siblings or to their families. So in the Rainbow Bird, we've got a koala bear, we've got a kangaroo, we've got a bird called the lorikeet, which is a rainbow bird, and we've got the brolga bird. And again, I'm going to need you to stand up. So good. Can you all stand up? Lovely. Yeah, Chloe in France, I can see you standing up, and I can see Harry standing up, I see Vanessa standing up. Good. Okay, I can see you standing up, Miriam. Yeah, I can see you. Okay, so if I call out the animal, we need to do the action. So lorikeets fly fast, kangaroos jump, brolgas dance, they dance, and a koala bear climbs. So if I say koala, can you all climb? Good. And if I say a brolga, you can dance like a brolga. And a lorikeet, you can fly fast, and a kangaroo jump. Brolga, kangaroo. And the good thing about this is it can really help the children associate with the characters more, and this is a good activity to do even before they read or after they read, just to really get them to understand the characters and who we've got in the story. So we can also draw, my favourite part of the story, and this is really interesting because here I always get amazed to see what part of the stories the children liked. They all like different bits, and this is lovely because you can see, you know, what bit they loved. And hello to Daniela Marini. She's here, and she's from Rome. Now she's got her students to read the Disney Little Mermaid, and they drew their or they copied their favourite page, and they've all chosen different pages. Again, really, really interesting to see sort of what students choose as their favourite page. And this is the book here, and she got them to just copy one of the pages, and so that's the page, and then you've got the picture there. So really, really nice. Again, these are things that everybody can do, so very inclusive. If you've got older students, they can make a video about their favourite part of the book. So here the students have, this is actually during a lockdown, and they've all chosen a page in the book, and then they videoed themselves acting out that page. So here we've got painting the gate, and there's the student actually painting the gate. So Gul, oh, it's lovely to see you, Gul. Okay, no, that's nice. So really, really nice stories there, and ideas. And another thing you can do is to create a story time video for your children. So basically, this motivates children to read on their own. And especially now, in Italy, for example, teachers are wearing masks at school. So the children can't see your mouth move. So videoing, making a video of yourself reading the story is a really nice way of just giving the story. You can send it to them. They can watch it, and they can watch you again. And there's so much value in that. Children love seeing their teachers read them a story. It's just precious, you know, you're giving them their time, and they can watch it again and again and again, and it's as if they've got you with them, especially if they're not able to come to school, or even if they're coming to school. You just give them a story to take home, and it's that continuity. And then you can get your children to make stories as well, and they can read the story and record them. If you want some examples of the Pearson readers being read, like the Town Mouse and the Country Mouse, we've got Hansel and Gretel. You can go on to Vanessa's website in Rome, Kids Can Do, and you can just have a look and, you know, either use that or just even make your own one. It gives you a good model of a read aloud. We've also, Chloe at the beginning mentioned book reviews, so that was good, because we've actually got lots of book reviews on the Pearson Amazing Readers website. You can download these, and they're or you can, you know, make your own similar. They are this is an example of a book and film review. So one of the nice ideas is to watch a sort of an upbeat, so read an upbeat book like Mr. Bean. Students love Mr. Bean all over the world, and from all ages. And again, it's a nice way of keeping the community together, have a sort of film showing. So you either all read the book and then you watch the film at the end about the book, or you can show bits of a film after every chapter. You can sort of make it into an activity. And they absolutely love that idea of reading. And then you can get them to do a sort of film and book review, what was different, what was similar. So again, you know, things like that. Another idea is we've talked a lot about the social side of getting people together as well, especially during this period of the pandemic. So social reading is very important, and the social aspect. So here students have done a reading project, they've worked together, and then on a Padlet wall, they've all posted either their audio recording, their video, their favourite page. They've all put something together on here. So again, you can use lots of different ways and things like shared documents, Zoom breakout rooms, Moodle forms to exchange ideas, and again, keep that class community together through a reader. So that's good. Puppet shows. So lovely puppet shows. Puppet shows are absolutely fantastic and an easy way to get your students to follow up after the reader. So you're all going to get Pirate Patch. So you can get your students to draw characters from the book very easily on a stick, and then just make a puppet show for their parents. And really, really nice activities there. So another important thing that we can get out of reading and stories is positive thinking, positive messages. We saw, you know, what we've all said about our students. You know, some of them are really down, and we need to, and you know, obviously as a teacher, educator, we need to try and find ways of helping their mood. And stories can help you raise your mood. In a happy classroom and school environment, stories learn better. We can include thinking about emotions in our story times. We can smile while we tell the story, and also get our students to tell them how they feel about the story as well. And don't forget our precious story hats, because our story hats can really, really help raise the mood. You know, I have students laugh all the time when they see you wearing these hats, and it just cheers them up a bit. So absolutely. So thinking about emotions, and this idea was a lovely idea from a teacher in Sicily. So she gets them to draw an emoticon about one of the characters, and how the story made them feel. So did they like the story? Didn't like the story? We don't have to like everything. It's not a problem. So absolutely, Chloe, you're going to get some story hats. Yeah. So and we should smile all the time. Again, if you want to take inspiration and get them to read Inside Out, there's a mood diary in Inside Out. So what's your mood? How are you feeling today? So can you all write it? How are you feeling today? Harry Waters with hats. Yeah. Oh, Harry led the way. Absolutely. Yeah. Um, so Harry has got some amazing hats, and I notice he's got some really good masks as well. So that's great as well. So, but anyway, someone, Anne says she's excellent after listening today. So that's nice, dynamic, amazing. Okay. So, introducing the theme of gratitude through stories as well. So, gratitude as a keystone habit can help us in times of difficulty. To overcome hurt and disappointment. So we need to be mindful of that with our students. So gratitude can be practiced every day. And thanks, Vanessa, for the lovely bookmark that I've put here. So again, a sort of gratitude bookmark, thanking people. Isn't it splendid to think of all the things there are to find out about? It just makes me feel glad to be alive. And that was from Anne of Green Gables, that lovely story. And we've got the Pearson Active Reader or Little Women. There are a lot of great gratitude messages in Little Women. So use a reader to teach gratitude and make time for gratitude can really help our children and our adults and our teenagers. Teaching them gratitude at any point in life can make a difference. Here, for example, we've got the Glad game. Remember Pollyanna? And you can watch the film as well, the Pollyanna film. So can you just all write down something you're grateful for? So a thing you're grateful for, something that's happened to you today that you're grateful for, or something... Your family, yeah, absolutely. Learning from you, Dicey. Oh, that's nice. I'm grateful for being here with you. First cup of tea, the sun, being healthy, my job, my mother. That's lovely. So you can, do this activity, Jill, this webinar. That's nice. Okay. Well, I'm grateful for being here with you, with hundreds and hundreds of teachers from all over the world. It's absolutely amazing. Vaccines, yeah, well done. Nalan being part of this webinar. We've also got positivity themes as well from readers. So, for example, Alice in Wonderland. Okay, and Pearson has various levels of Alice in Wonderland. There's a Disney Alice in Wonderland for younger children, and then there's the Pearson English reader for older teens and for teenagers, and adults even can read it. So you can get your students to find quotations about well-being and positivity in the book that they're reading. So if we look at Alice in Wonderland, it's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then. So very mindful, the past is finished, so let's stay in the present. And life appears to be too short to be spent in nursing animosity or registering wrongs. And so that's Jane Eyre. So nice message there. And you can get your students to find a quotation, to paraphrase it so they can change the word, they can explain it. And you could, and then find other quotations, and you can start your lessons with a motivational quote. So Linda, it's amazing to be here. It's lovely to see you as well. And Marina, hi, lovely to see you from Rome. So good. And we can talk about the characters' emotions as well. So, for example, lovely illustrations here from Alice there at the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. And there's an article in the New York Times that you can just Google, so don't worry about the link, just Google New York Times naming emotions. And the answer is that naming our emotions tends to diffuse their charge and lessen the burden they create. The psychologist Dan Siegel refers to this practice as name it to tame it. How did Alice feel when she went down the hole? How did Alice help in the story? Who did she help? And have you ever helped anyone? So again, they can do that. Now, Zuana has just asked a question. I'm just going to stop and answer it because it's really important. How can we create a reading community if everybody reads a different book? Well, the fact that they're reading a different book is the reading community. They're all reading. It doesn't matter what they're reading, but they're all reading. So you can get them to, you can create a reading community by getting them to all read a different book. It doesn't matter what they're reading. And then they can all do the same thing after. So they can all make a presentation about their book. They can all talk about a picture in their book. So the tasks that you can get them to do can be the same type of thing, but the reading community is because they're all reading a book. You could even get one student to say read, and the others, you know, we can all talk about the book together. So again, that's an activity. You can actually use the class time, the shared class time together to do activities. And yeah, Vanessa talks about a book club. Ask them for a short review. You can give them different characters or chapters. Absolutely. So you can give them different task types, but again, bring them together to do those activities. Jennifer talks about students persuading others to read a book. Yeah, so fantastic ideas here, and the idea of the film trailers as well is really good. And explore a well-being theme in a book. So staying with the theme of well-being, this is absolutely wonderful. So then all of it vanished, and there was only its smile. There are lots of cats without a smile, but a smile without a cat. Now that's very strange, Alice said. Now remember, smiling is contagious. It's not just celebrities, but you can light up a room if you enter smiling. So if you like to help others and lift the spirits of everyone, you see, just smile. So can you all have a smile? Can we have a smile? Good, absolutely. And you can look that up in the Psychology Today. You can get your students to look it up if they're older. Just do something about smiling and that wonderful Cheshire cat. Yeah, wearing face masks all the time. Well, teachers are, absolutely. It's the idea of a teacher educator, absolutely. And you can use readers to find out more. So, for example, if we're reading the Inside Out reader, inside there's an activity about finding out more about mindfulness and doing your a mindfulness breathing activity. So, and your eyes can smile as well. Yeah, absolutely. Miriam uses theatre, and Chloe says students study her wrinkles. That's good, absolutely. We can also do a dance routine. Okay, so in the Jungle Book, you all know there are lots of dance routines, and we can make a dance routine. So again, after the students have read their reader, the Disney reader on the Jungle Book, we can do a routine. So this is my routine: move, move, ha, 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 move, move, ha, ha, ha. Can you all do it together? Move, move, ha, ha, ha. Good. Move, move, ha, ha, ha. So again, that's something that we can do. It's a really easy activity to do online. And again, it's just taking a theme from the book and a bit of, exercise. So projects as well. So one of my favorite all-time books is Ratatouille. Remember these Disney readers as well. A lot of the Disney stories are aimed at the adults as well that are sort of reading or watching with their children. So really, really good stories. And Ratatouille. So everybody likes talking about food, and so they've read the book Ratatouille, and in the books you've got these lovely worksheets as well. So sorry, not in the books but outside the books, you've got worksheets that go with each story, and this is a lovely worksheet about their favourite menu and their favourite recipe. So get your students to, if you're reading a reader, you can get them, for example, if it was Phileas Fogg, they could look at those countries and just choose a country and a famous recipe. You know, every reader you can link to food in some way, you know, so again, think about that, you know, of linking. And again, all of these activities just make them a little bit more inclined to want to read. Yesterday, someone was saying that students are scared of reading. Some students are. So, you know, because they come from families with no books at home in many situations. So again, you know, we can introduce students to reading in this way. And here, an example is some of the messages. So staying positive, again, really, really important that we try and get that message across, and using a book that talks about that actually overtly can help our children. So again, you know, all of these things. Yeah, Marina, they can travel virtually. Here we've got an example of a wonderful idea where we're linking the readers to the United Nations Sustainable Goals. And here we've got Stefania Foggia. Hello, Stefania, from Rome. And her students read the book The Gladiator, which is set obviously in ancient Rome, and then they watched the film. And then they looked at the United Nations Sustainable Goals, and they saw the goals that actually were represented in the book. So we've got reduced inequalities, goal number 10, found out more about the goal, and then made a poster and sort of a project about the goal and linking it to themes in the book. And you can do this as well. Yeah. Have you tried having your students to read during the class so you make sure they read it? Absolutely, yes. And we can do something called drop everything and read. So dear time. And basically, you can just say to your students, okay, get your books out and we're all going to sit and read. And so you can all either read together, read aloud together, or everybody just sits silently and reads. It's absolutely, yeah. So this was another idea from Tamara Novicic in Rome. She did some fun responses to reading. So again, got the students to be quite creative. And here they did some reading sort of memes. So some little short cartoons about Frankenstein. And that's the Pearson active reader. Yeah, so dear time. We can also, talking about teamwork and just going back to that idea of if students are reading different books, what can we do? Well, basically, you can get your students to form a reading circle. So here the students are reading, here they're reading the same book, but you could also do it with different books. They just all do a little bit about their book. Each student chooses a different role, and then they present it to the class. So, for example, here, if they've read Oliver Twist, one student looks at the symbolic locations in the book. So Oliver Twist is London, for example, or and the history. One student could do the history, which is the Industrial Revolution, and the workhouses. Then you can do a global goal connection, for example, no hunger. You can look at new vocabulary. One student looks at words in the book. One student looks at the illustrations and presents them. And one student finds the important sentences there. And the idea of reading circles is very big in America, and it's lovely to bring it into your classrooms as well, because it can help, again, the idea of the class community, getting people to do something shared together. So reading circles is really nice. And Stefania Foggia's students did this, and they made a project. Reading aloud is therapeutic too, once people are over their shyness. Absolutely, Linda, really, really important. If we get our students to read aloud together, it builds their confidence, it helps their reading fluency, and it, again, it's that team, it's that community. So yeah, Harry, absolutely, nice way for the global goals. Yeah, good. And again, Isabella Marini from Rome, she's here. And this is a lovely idea. She got her students last year to do a virtual play. So the students were all in lockdown at home, and they read the book, The Wizard of Oz, and they had a sort of activity where they all dressed up as a character of The Wizard of Oz. They invited the parents on Zoom, and they all, each student, had a bit of the book to read, and they had a virtual play together. So they had their end of term play. So that was really, really nice. This year, that same school has gone hybrid. So at Christmas time, the children were in class, and the parents and special guests, so invite special guests like me, came, and we watched from home. So we were watching online on the school projector and whiteboard, and the students were in class, and they performed the Pearson story reader, Hansel and Gretel, and then they all drew their favourite page in the book, and then they came up to the camera and showed their page, and the children watched at home. So if you're in this sort of situation now where some of your students are at home, some at school, reading can actually really help with that. And then you could also have a special day. So here's a special day for you all to celebrate. Now, you're all going to get in your goodie bag the Sherlock Holmes reader, an important exam. So you could have a Sherlock Holmes Day on May the 22nd. So May the 22nd is the International Sherlock Holmes Day. You can choose your venue. Are you going to do it on Zoom or Google? Are you going to do it face to face? Are you going to do it online, hybrid, wherever you are? You can present the characters. So your students could look up things about Sherlock Holmes. You could get them to read the reader. You can get them to dress up as characters or find a hat or a mask, Harry, and they could also read and act out parts of the story as well. And it's a great, they could look at up the period of history, and they could look at food at that time, locations in the stories. We've got Baker Street, we've got London, you know, there are other sort of mysteries. So again, you know, you can all have a great thing, and you've made my day as well. And then we can boost morale and give our students certificates. So everybody loves a certificate, and these are lovely certificates with the Pearson readers. They've all got a little image on them, and there's also a quote. So for example, this is from level 2, you cannot open a book without learning something, and that's what Confucius says. Then Abraham Lincoln on level 3 says, I've learnt, all the things I've learned have been from books. So again, you can download those certificates from the Pearson website, and everybody in the class, it's very inclusive, they can all get a certificate, even those students that never usually win anything. So some tips for mindful reading: be in the present moment with your book, slow down and focus on what you're reading. That's very mindful, and find a window of time as well. So try and sort of bring that habit of reading in. Now, when you're reading, it's normal. Your mind might wander, but just bring it back to the book. Just sort of notice where it's gone and then bring it back to your book. Now, if you're doing reading with children, remember to thank their ears. And I'd like to thank you and thank your ears, because you've all been listening very well today. Encourage students to choose what they read. If you give your students choice, I always love it, because I always find I'm so amazed by the books that the children and the adults and the teenagers choose. When you show them that Pearson readers website, and they all go for different things, it's really quite amazing. And I'm always surprised about what they do choose, because it's things that I wouldn't have thought that student would have chosen. Promote reading as a vehicle for well-being. So tell your students, tell the parents, tell everybody that reading is good for you. So that's really important. Now, there's going to be a coffee break today. Is that right, Charlie? Beata, it's been lovely to be here with you. So you can, there's a coffee break later on today, and it's been so nice to see you all. And I want to, can we all have a virtual hug? So can you all just hug yourselves, give yourselves a hug, and you can do this with your children. Just give everybody a hug at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the day. So let's all just hug each other, and thank you. So a nice hug, it's been, yeah, big hug.
Donatella, yes, thanks for that. There will be 2 coffee breaks today, actually. There's one with Magda and Kasha at 10 o'clock. I'm going to share the registration for that in the chat now.
Okay, good. So there you go. You've got your coffee break.
There's a second one at 11:30. This is UK times with Eleonora Pacina and Andrew Kahn. We did twice there, but you have it there.
Okay, so that's fantastic. Well, Silvana, you're wonderful. It's just been so lovely to be here today with teachers from all over the world, and I hope you will show your students some of these readers and enjoy reading them and doing some lovely activities with them as well. It's been really, really lovely, and in fact, this is an example of a community. We're all here today from different places, so absolutely wonderful. And okay, so that's great. Well, enjoy the rest of the day, and I hope join the coffee breaks. There you go. You've got lots of opportunities. I'd like to thank Joanna as well. Hello, Joanna Weissman. She does all the marketing for the readers with Sashka. So really lovely. And it's been lovely to see you all. Really, really nice to see you all. And I hope to see you all again soon. So there you go.
Fantastic, Donatella. I'm going to bring the session to a close now.
Okay, so bye, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Donatella.
Bye-bye.
Just in response to that question, the tea breaks, the links are in the top of the chat now. So if you click on them, you'll be able to register. There's one immediately at 10 o'clock and then another one at 11:30. There are 2 links there. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Bye, everyone.